just past midnight when Ethan Wallace heard the phone ring. He had just finished cleaning up his small kitchen in the quiet town of Grayford, Oregon. The autumn rain tapped rhythmically against the windows, and the house creaked as it always did at night. He paused, drying his hands on a towel, then turned to look at the cordless phone sitting on the counter. It rang again, shrill and out of place. What struck him immediately was that he hadn't heard the phone ring in months. He barely used it. His cell phone was dead in the bedroom, and he hadn't received a landline call in ages. Curious, Ethan picked up the receiver. "Hello," he said, his voice low and cautious. Static hissed on the other end, faint but unmistakable. Then came a strange clicking sound like someone tapping on a microphone. "Who is this?" Ethan asked. No answer came. Just a long exhale, deep and slow. He thought it might be the wind. "Hello," he repeated. A whisper, so faint he nearly missed it, drifted through the line. "You shouldn't have answered." Ethan froze. His heartbeat thundered in his ears. "What do you mean? Who is this?" he demanded, but the line went dead. He stared at the phone, unsure if what just happened was real. Maybe it was a prank. Maybe the storm messed with the lines. Trying to shake it off, he set the phone down and went to bed. Sleep didn't come easily. Every creak of the house made him sit up. The wind howled outside, and the rain intensified. Sometime around 2:30 a.m., he finally drifted off, only to be woken again by the sound of the phone. It rang once, just once. He rushed out of bed, adrenaline flooding him. He grabbed the phone. No one was there. The next morning he called the phone company. They checked the records but confirmed no incoming calls had been made to his line during the times he described. Confused and a little unsettled, Ethan tried to push the incident out of his mind. Over the next few days, things got weirder. His neighbor, Mrs. Delaney, an elderly woman who had lived next door since the 60s, mentioned seeing a man standing in his yard around 3 a.m. the night before. "He was just standing there," she said, "looking at your window. I was about to call the police, but he walked away." Ethan felt his stomach twist. What did he look like? Tall, thin, wore an old coat. His head was tilted like his neck was stiff. That night, Ethan left the porch light on. He sat near the window, drinking coffee and staring into the yard. Nothing happened. He was about to turn in when he saw movement near the hedges. Figure. He bolted outside with a flashlight. The light flickered, and by the time he reached the bushes, the figure was gone. He found only footprints in the wet grass. Long, narrow footprints that vanished at the edge of his driveway. Later that night the phone rang again. "Why are you still there?" the voice said. Ethan's blood ran cold. It was the same whisper as before. But now it sounded urgent. "Who are you? What do you want?" he shouted. "You need to leave. He's coming." The line cut off. Ethan stared at the phone, dread building in his chest. He called his best friend Marcus Hayes, a local sheriff's deputy. Marcus arrived within 15 minutes, skeptical but concerned. "You think someone's messing with you?" Marcus asked. "I don't know. But this doesn't feel like a prank. It feels wrong." Marcus looked around the house, checked the yard, and found the same strange footprints. He promised to have someone patrol the area for the next few nights. But the calls didn't stop. And the voice started saying Ethan's name. Part 2. 2 nights after Marcus's visit, Ethan stayed up again, notebook in hand, recording the time and details of each strange occurrence. He couldn't help but feel he was being watched. The porch light flickered around midnight, and he swore he saw a shadow slip past the edge of the window. The phone rang again at 12:47 a.m. "Ethan," the whisper said, more urgent now. "You opened the door." "What door?" Ethan asked, voice shaking. "He's inside." The line cut out. A crash echoed from the back of the house. Ethan ran, grabbing a baseball bat from the closet. He moved through the dark hallway, heart pounding. Nothing looked out of place until he reached the guest room. The window was open. Rain had soaked the carpet, and the curtains billowed in the wind. He slammed the window shut and locked it. Then he saw the muddy footprints on the floor, long, narrow, and headed toward the hallway. Toward him. He backed away, dialed Marcus, and kept the bat raised. Marcus arrived minutes later with his flashlight drawn and another deputy behind him. They searched the entire house but found nothing. The footprints had vanished. Marcus stayed until morning. They talked over coffee. "Have you ever heard of the Hollow Man?" Marcus asked. "Old town legend. Used to scare kids with it. Story goes that if you answer a call from the Hollow Man, you let him in." Ethan was pale. "That's what the voice said. I opened a door. It's probably just some sick prank. Or your mind playing tricks. But..." Marcus hesitated. "I'd still keep the lights on. Just in case." That day, Ethan went to the town library. He dug through local archives and found references to unexplained disappearances over the years, all centered around the same area. Some mentioned strange phone calls. One man in the 90s reportedly answered a silent phone, then disappeared a week later. Another, in 2003, claimed a voice warned him of something coming. He was later found dead in his basement, expression frozen in horror. Each case had one thing in common: a phone call no one remembered making. Ethan returned home, feeling the weight of fear pressing down on him. That night he unplugged the landline, but the phone still rang. It rang even though it was disconnected. This time the voice said nothing. Instead, Ethan heard a second voice, one that mimicked his own. It whispered, "Ethan, let me in." He dropped the phone and backed away. The lights in the house flickered. The air turned cold. The hallway darkened, and from the shadows came the soft creak of footsteps. Ethan hid in the closet, phone in hand, whispering to Marcus to come help. Static consumed the line, but he could hear something else. Breathing. Blows. On the other side of the closet door. Marcus found Ethan 3 hours later, unconscious in the hallway. No signs of a break-in. Just the baseball bat snapped in two. Part 3. Ethan stayed with Marcus for a few days. He tried to forget the events, but sleep brought visions. A man with no face standing in the doorway. A phone ringing endlessly in an empty house. Each night he woke screaming. Marcus convinced Ethan to see a local historian, Daniel Prescott, who specialized in supernatural folklore. Daniel listened patiently as Ethan recounted every detail. "There's a theory," Daniel said, "that some entities exist in frequencies. They use technology as a doorway, especially outdated tech like landlines. It's easier for them. Less interference. So how do I stop it?" Ethan asked. Daniel sighed. "You can destroy the phone. Burn it. Bury the pieces in salt. But that might only delay it." You answered. "Knows your name. It knows your voice." Ethan burned the phone that night. For a while things were quiet. He returned home, cautious but hopeful. Weeks passed. No calls. No shadows. He even began to sleep through the night again. Then one evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, the TV flickered on by itself. Static filled the screen. And from the speakers came the same voice. "Ethan, I never left." Duran. Marcus helped him move out the next day. They burned what they could and left the rest behind. Ethan relocated to Arizona, changed his number, and cut all ties with Grayford. But one night in his new apartment his cell phone rang. An unknown number. He answered. There was static. And a whisper. "Why did you run, Ethan?" He dropped the phone, heart racing. Some doors once open never close.